السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وصحبه ومن والاه. Inshallah ta'ala, I will leave you tonight with a short khatira, and just to know that starting Wednesday morning I will not be here. I'll be again going for some other things, inshallah, of khair and of deen, to teach somewhere else and to be somewhere else. For about 2 weeks almost, I'll be overseas, inshallah ta'ala. Please keep me in your dua as well. Ameen ya Rabb. And keep up what we have been always sharing and learning together. Let us always strive to practice what we learn and do our best, inshallah ta'ala. Of what we recited tonight, something very simple but very powerful. Allah Azza wa Jal tells us about a scene on the day of resurrection. Two kinds of people. The first kind He describes to us, and then the second kind He describes to us. The first kind He describes to us are basically those who will directly, quickly, swiftly enter Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Rabbi, Ameen, as Allah describes them. الذين يوفون بعهد الله ولا ينقضون الميثاق والذين يصلون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويخشون ربهم ويخافون سوء الحساب والذين صبروا ابتغاء وجه ربهم وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية ويدرؤون بالحسنة السيئة أولئك لهم عقبى الدار جنات عدن يدخلونها ومن صلح من آبائهم وأزواجهم وذرياتهم والملائكة يدخلون عليهم من كل باب. And the angels enter into their presence from every direction, from every gate. The malaika, the angels, enter. Salamun alaykum. The malaika, the angels, greet them. Salamun alaykum bima sabartum. This is what I meant. One simple word. And the greetings of the malaika to these dwellers of Jannah, ultimately it has to do with one thing. They summarized all of that. Now they enter Jannah, and the malaika summarize all of what those people were about. Sabr. Salamun alaykum bima sabartum. Peace now is with you and upon you by your patience. By what you have practiced of sabr. This ayah tells us, this incident tells us that sabr equals Jannah. Sabr leads to Jannah. Sabr, sabr, sabr. Who amongst us here has a lot of sabr? Raise your hand. If you do, please teach me. Sabr. One word. But I'm going to say 3 things about sabr to remind myself first and then you, my dear brothers and sisters. Sabr basically in the face of the ta'ah of Allah Azza wa Jal. As-sabru ala ta'at. To show patience and to struggle inside the bitterness we feel or the opposition we feel inside of us and the hurdles we feel inside of us, and that I leave to each one of you to reflect upon yourself, and you know what that means to you. Sabr in the face of what those feelings of opposition and constraint and restraint and boredom and laziness and despise and weakness and anger in the face of obeying Allah Azza wa Jal about anything that Allah loves for us to do. We have to practice. These people practiced patience in dunya in doing that. There is obedience of Allah. The nafs says don't do that. Shaitan says don't do that. The friend says don't do that. Television says don't do that. Some, phone says don't do that. But they struggle and they do. virtue, the goodness, the obedience of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Second, sabrun anil ma'asi. First was sabrun ala ta'at. Second, sabrun anil ma'asi. To show that internal struggle against the internal bitterness we feel in the face of being attracted to disobey now Allah Azza wa Jalla. To disobey. The first one is patience in obedience. Now patience vis-a-vis disobedience. مصبر عن المعاصي الباطنة والظاهرة. Something comes to my mind, something comes to my heart, something I see, something I hear, something I want to do of ma'asiyah of Allah Azza wa Jalla, something I want to feel alone or in private or in public. نصبر على ذلك. We struggle against that. Some salihun had extreme examples about their struggle to be patient in the face of a challenge to disobey Allah Azza wa Jalla. الصبر عن المعاصي الباطنة, inside of us, and الظاهرة, and the bitterness of that. And it's hard for some, and in some instances it is mujahadatu nafs, it is jihad, it is the jihad. And thirdly, الصبر على أذى الناس. Oh, that's another maqam. الصبر على الأذى, على أذى الناس. To be patient and to show patience and turn the cheek away in the face of others doing wrong to us and hurting us. It starts at home, in the family life. And that's where it starts, the challenges of the adha we might perceive. We might perceive, it might not be, but we might perceive adha, and it might be adha indeed from the very home in which I am. Husbands and wives, they all claim there is adha, and that will always be. Salamun alaykum bima sabartum. Sabru ala al-adha, first, the adha that we perceive at home. I remind you and myself, that's where it starts. The real sabr is the one who has sabr at home. Not at home being free to express all his feelings or her feelings in violence, and outside they show sabr. Sabr starts at home. Sabr ala al-adha. Words, expressions, كذا. المؤمن صابر. And a sabr ala al-adha in the marketplace, in business, at work, socially. The adha occurs. Financial adha, economic adha, political adha, harm. As-sabr ala al-adha, especially the adha that is directed or that targets the person as a person. That Allah Azza wa Jalla loves, that you show patience and that you bypass that and you forego that. Now, who has all these three aspects of sabr? Raise your hands. Who has some of that? Raise your hands. Please do. I hope there is some of that, otherwise. But maybe we don't have a lot of that. But the malaika will enter and say, Salamun alaykum bima sabartum. فَنِعْمَ عُقْبَ الدَّارِ. Salamun alaykum bima sabartum. May Allah Azza wa Jal help me and you be of those who will be addressed by the angels. Salamun alaykum bima sabartum. And maybe some people, as a karama from Allah Azza wa Jal, maybe in this dunya, they will hear someday an angel telling them, Salamun alayka bima sabart. Allahumma ja'alna minhum. Allahumma ja'alna minhum. Allahumma ja'alna minhum. وصلى اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام